Record of Ragnarok.
You know what? We're going to talk about that. Let's talk. That's the first. That was actually. Thanks for the reminder. That's the first. That's the first thing we're going to talk about. Is flipping. Has everyone here watched Record of Ragnarok?
Listen, I stopped at second episode.
Bro, I was falling asleep. I was like, okay, I'm on a break from work. Record of Ragnarok is now on Netflix. Let me watch it. I've seen the trailers. The trailer it kind of still looks crap, but let me give it a try. Because I've seen people talk about the manga on YouTube, and I've been meaning to read the manga. I just never got around to it. But I'm like, oh, let me watch the anime. First episode, I'm like, this is freaking boring as hell. So much talking, and there's no animation. You know how Netflix is like, they don't give a high budget to their animation sometimes, and this one is just like a slideshow. There's no animation. It's just, oh my god.
You know what? Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. I watched it and I was thinking, all right, you're doing all of this great talking. You have this potential for something dope. From just the first episode, just the first maybe 5 minutes of the episode, I'm like, all right, you've explained yourself, you've explained the story and what you want to do. Great. What you It just died. It died. It was terrible. It's the worst anime. It's not. I can't class it as anime.
It's a slideshow. That's what it is.
It's a slideshow of the manga
PowerPoint
panels.
Bro, that's what it is.
Colored in.
Yeah,
that's it.
Especially with the manga like that, which is very like, if you look at the art, it's pretty complex. It takes a really good animator to really kind of bring it into life, and they just said, whatever, man, just add some slides. Bro, this is the thing about Netflix animations. Like, I mean, if you're gonna, I hate 3D animation, but sometimes if you don't have the budget
just
for it,
do 3D.
Just do 3D, because I know animation is very expensive to make. I understand that. That's why Pixar does all 3D. It's very cheap to just render on a computer. But yeah, man, they just really dropped the ball, man. They really dropped the ball. Because a lot of people rate the manga, like, that's why it got so much hype. Because the manga is really good, and if they just stuck to the story, stuck to the animation, it'll be perfect. But they flopped that.
I actually wondered about that. I wondered about that because there was a lot of hype behind it. There was a lot of hype. I saw it almost everywhere, and I was thinking, all right, this has got to be good. But then after the first 5 minutes, it was like, yeah. And I even took a gamble and said, all right, let's see what the second episode shows. It was even worse.
It didn't get any better, did it?
Bro, no. Look, they even attempted this whole backstory thing. And the backstory, bruv, it might as well be brown paper you do on the damn thing. Like, it was the worst. I turned it off. I didn't get through the second episode. I stopped.
Bro, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, like, almost every single hyped anime has flopped. Yeah. Apart from one, Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is the only one in the past year and a half or 2 years that I've actually said it lives up to the hype. Tower of God, God of High School, Yasuke. Promised Neverland. That one was just...
Yasuke is like the bottom of the barrel.
No.
I can't
season
put
2.
Yasuke
Season 2 of Promised Neverland. It might be the worst anime ever. It might be the worst. Maybe the second was the worst I've ever watched is Gazi's Wing. I don't think anything can beat that. But no, trust me. YouTube Gazi's Wing and come back to me. Yeah,
you're welcome. I will have to do that.
But Promise Never. Anyway, that was probably the worst. Yeah, but they're just every single hyped animes come out. It's just been trash.
You know what? Like, you know what? Okay, let's talk about Yasuke, because personally, like, in terms of just watching it, I didn't find it that bad. Apart from the little stupidness that they added into it.
Freaking robots in the middle of feudal Japan.
The robots. The robots. This is Japan from back when them things it wasn't even a thought. You decide to bring it.
No explanation.
It's from another dimension.
Why are they bringing swords to a gunfight? You got robots shooting, and you've got a sword like you're But
if they brought in the robots and then they did the backstory of okay, this is how the robots came about and stuff like that, it will make more sense. But they just literally just dropped them in, and they're just like, oh, it's just from another arm, and they expect us to just accept it.
It was terrible.
Yeah, that thing is just trash.
Terrible.
It's horrible.
I think it was overly exaggerated in some aspects as well. I mean, animation is usually over exaggerated anyway, but like in terms of the special effects, right? But in this, dude, the story was the backstory was a good part of the whole thing, right? Yeah. When they brought it into the present day, his character shouldn't be his character. He's a dude that wants to be by himself, ends up helping a woman he doesn't know. Sorry, spoiler alert. Helps a woman that he doesn't know with a child who has powers who can't control it, but then for some reason the next episode she's perfectly fine with the powers, but still goes to a guy for help with the powers that she can now use. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
They just did Vinland Saga reverse. Like they did like they had this whole guy, you have Yasuke and you're supposed to root for him, but he's like this really boring nomad. Then you have like a 5-minute backstory, and then you go back to him being this boring nomad. You're like, there's not enough. You know, you need to really kind of flush him out a little bit, you know.
You think they did it because of the whole Black Lives Matter thing? But just to add to it.
But even with that, like, there's been just make the guy interesting. Why do you have to add robots and this weird music to? Do you know what I mean? Like you have Flying Lotus, the music is kind of like, and then you have Thundercat singing as well. You're like, okay, it can kind of work. I hear Samurai Champloo does the same thing, right? You know, they have the hip hop elements, but that felt out of place. I'm like, okay, bro, and then you have robots.
All they needed to do was take Samurai Champloo and just change the characters. Because Samurai Champloo has a similar idea in that there's a girl, she needs protection from samurai bodyguards to get somewhere. She's trying to get somewhere. It's the same premise. All they needed to do was just make it one samurai that's protecting this one girl and loads of assassins are coming for her. That's all you needed. That's it. You didn't need the magic. You didn't need the mechs. You didn't need the bear woman. The woman that turns into a bear for no reason. You didn't need all this. You need just make it super simple, and people would have enjoyed it a lot more. But no, let's throw some flipping Gundams in the middle of it.
They tried to make him Black Kenshin, Rurouni Kenshin. But
snap!
Kenshin's interesting. They had little tidbits there. You know, the reverse edge blade, can't kill anyone with it. Why? Why would you have a sword? He's like supposed to be the greatest swordsman of all time, but he doesn't want to kill. Oh, interesting. Yasuke doesn't really have any of that. You have a 5-minute backstory where this guy just offs himself, and then now he's just like, oh, I don't want to fight again. Okay, but there's nothing really to him, you know.
There was no real character development. It was just throwing random facts for a character, and that's it. There wasn't any character development. Champloo was.
And they didn't even have that deep of a story. It was the story was so simple.
It didn't,
but the quality was really good.
Yeah,
and the way the characters they didn't need to go into any huge backstory with the characters either, because the storytelling showed you a lot about how the characters act and the way they interact with each other. You got the really traditional samurai guy who is a lot more straight-laced, but then you got the other samurai guy who's just doing capoeira everywhere and he's just unpredictable. So like, so you can see the storytelling they use the characters really well, and you get attached to those characters, and the fact that those two characters want to kill each other, but they're not allowed to kill each other. So that also brings some tension to it, because just like, until you finish the job, you can't kill each other. So you're waiting for them to finish the job and see if they're actually going to fight again. Which I'm not going to put any spoilers, but like. It's a very short anime as well.
It was how many episodes was it? It wasn't even that long.
I don't even think it was that long.
Maybe, it wasn't that
something like that.
Yeah, it was 16 maybe episodes.
It was good for how short it was, man. It hit the nail on the head.
Okay, it was actually 26 episodes. Okay, yeah, okay. It was 26 episodes.
Okay, yeah, so that's all right. One season. Yeah.